Now that Hurricane Laura has left our area, my co-anchor Channing Curtis spoke with 3 meteorologists to talk about how the storm impacted their area.
Lake Charles.
So now we're getting some heavy rain bands coming in. Now we're getting the threat for tornadoes here in the city and across the north side of Lake Pontchartrain, and also dealing with potential maybe some street flooding and flash flooding issues this afternoon.
Shreveport.
We've had reports of 2 injuries, nothing serious, thankfully, that when trees fell on a home, 2 different incidents where people were transported due to that particular damage.
Little Rock.
Well, it's actually had tropical storm warnings posted all the way up to Little Rock is not typical.
3 areas heavily impacted by Hurricane Laura. People in New Orleans know all too well what these kinds of storms can do.
This is the worst hurricane, tied for the worst hurricane ever to hit Louisiana, with 150-mile-per-hour winds, and matches one back in 1856 was the worst hurricane ever to hit. It's been 164 years since we've had a hurricane this strong in Louisiana. We get many hurricanes, but none this strong before.
Lake Charles, Louisiana was one of the hardest hit areas, but thankfully most of the damage was to buildings and trees.
The worst of it really missed the more populated areas with respect to storm surge, so we kind of lucked out in that respect.
Shreveport also saw a lot of damage with widespread power outages and structural damage to buildings.
As the forecast changed over time and Laura took a northeast turn, conditions much improved now in Shreveport.
Little Rock is another city being impacted by the tropical storm now in their area.
We've got the rain moving in, so the outer bands of Laura are starting to move in from the south. The wind hasn't picked up here in Little Rock, but we are seeing gusts for southern parts of Arkansas reaching the mid to upper 50s. So that's going to bring down some tree limbs. That's going to bring down some tree branches and cause some power outages. Power outages have already started to ramp up in southern parts of the state.
Of course, we'll make sure to check back in with our Little Rock station later tonight.